Hey, hello guys. Welcome to Network Beats. This is Tangadurai, and today's topic that we are going to see is BGP attributes. Okay, so what is BGP attributes? And we know that already. Uh, let's say we take any of the IGP protocol, let's say we have RIP, right? This uses as a metric something called hop counts. Am I right? Because based on the number of hop counts, RIP will be going to select the best path when there are more than one path is available for the destination prefix in its routing table. Then we have EIGRP. Okay, EIGRP uses the complex metric of the combination of bandwidth, and then it is going to use a delay, and then it will be using something called load, and then MTU, and also it is going to use reliability, right? So EHRP is going to use bandwidth, delay, load, MTU, and reliability, these combinations of the value to choose the best path uh, when there are more than one path is available to reach the destination. And if we consider OSPF, this uses a bandwidth, right? The bandwidth, when I say bandwidth, it uses 10 to the power 8 by bandwidth. Based on this particular formula, it is going to calculate the best path. So like that, BGP uses what? Okay, in order to select the best path. So BGP doesn't use any of these parameters, something like that, to choose the best path, because the BGP is going to use something called attribute. Okay, so what does attribute mean? That means attribute is something like, okay, we have four different types of attributes, but in major it is classified as well known, and one is classified as optional. Okay, and again in well known we have something called mandatory, discretionary, and under optional we have something called transitive and non-transitive. Okay, let's concentrate on well known part. Okay, let's say we have a router, let's say it is R1, and it is pairing with R2. Okay, let it be IBGP or eBGP, whatever it is, no problem. So when I say mandatory, under this mandatory there will be few attributes fall under this particular classification, well known mandatory. Okay, that means AS path, which we have discussed in our previous videos, and we have something called next hop, right? This is again a well-known mandatory attribute, and we have something called origin, right? And this origin again have three different things, which is I, E, and question mark. We'll be learning what is this when we are talking about in the video called origin. Okay, we have a separate video to cover this. Okay, so why these particular attributes are considered as well-known mandatory? That means, okay, it doesn't mean you are using Cisco or Juniper or HP, whichever the router you use, and if that router supports BGP protocol, and if you're trying to peer a neighborship with other router using that particular router which you are using, okay, so that router should mandatorily know about these particular attributes. Okay, this is not a product specific. Okay, if you take any vendor, okay, all these vendors should know about what is AS path, what is next hop, what is origin, and they should understand about this particular attribute if they are going to receive these attributes via BGP messages. Okay, that is what it means. Okay, it is well known mandatory attribute. Okay, why this is mandatory? Because let's say ASPath is used for loop prevention. Why? Because It is a major thing in order to do loop prevention in terms of eBGP, because let's say R1 it is in AS100, and we have R2 in AS200, and let's say we have R3 in AS300, okay, and let's say R4 in AS400. Okay, so let's say R1 is advertising some prefixes called 1.1.1.1/32, okay, uh, to R3 as well as R2 as well as R3, right? And now R3 will be advertising that to R4. R2 will be again advertising to R4. Okay, till now I'm good. Okay, uh, okay. What is the guarantee that R4 is not going to advertise the same 1.1.1.1/32? Let's say I have received an update from R3. Now R4 will be sending this particular update to R2, right? When R2 receives the update from R4, R2 is going to send back to the R1. Okay, but this particular prefix is initially originated by R1 itself. Okay, now it is going via R3 and then R4, then R2, and finally it is again received by R1. So this is where we are seeing the loop is occurring. Okay, if we don't have the AS path attribute, okay, R1 doesn't know whether I can install this particular prefix in my BGP table, uh, whether I can consider this as the best hop to use, because without AS path attribute it doesn't come to know there may be a possible loop that it will occur if I am going to install the message or the route update whichever is coming from R2 to R1. So in order to avoid that, ASPath is helping us to avoid such loop preventions. Okay, such loop to get occur in the network. So AS and next hop we know, because next hop is a mandatory one. Again, without next hop we are not able to go. We cannot able to go and reach our destination network, because next hop, until unless the next hop IP is reachable, we cannot communicate to the prefixes which are advertised through that next hop, right? Then the origin. Okay, basically this says like how our, let's say you are in R1, let's say you are receiving some prefix, something called 20.0.0.0/24 prefix through R2, and R2 is connected to some cloud over here, where there may be like bunches of routers are connected, we don't know. Just I'm assuming there is just a cloud, okay, which is having a bunch of routers. Okay, through R2 I'm receiving this particular prefix on R1. R1 should know how this particular prefix is learning, either through BGP or whether it is being redistributed. Even if it is learning through BGP, okay, whether it is advertised uh, in BGP or whether it has been redistributed through BGP, uh, and we'll come to know what is this E. Okay, this is something referring to EGP protocol. That is the protocol, it was there before but it is not there now, so don't worry about that. We'll be discussing those things in origin chapters. So this is why we'll call these attributes as a well-known mandatory. So whichever the vendor router that we are going to use, those vendor routers should understand. That means if they are capable of running BGP, they should understand what is AS path, what is next hop, what is origin, because these are the mandatory attributes that each and every router should understand. That means BGP capable router should understand. Okay. So next we have something called discretionary. What is this discretionary? Okay, this will fall under well-known, and under well-known we have something called discretionary. In discretionary we have again, let's say we have different attributes, something like local preference. Okay, and also we have something called atomic aggregate. These are the attributes that we will be considering as a well-known discretionary. What does it mean well-known discretionary? Okay, let's say again, I have a router 1 and router 2. If router 2 is sending, let's say, a route update, BGP route update, in that route update, it has few field which is mentioning the value for local preference and atomic aggregate. Okay, that means R1 should understand what is that. Okay, but it uh, when R2 is updating these values, it can be there or it cannot be there. That is what the meaning it is. Okay, when I say mandatory, when R2 is updating some routes to R1 using the route update, it has to include AS path, next hop, origin. These are the mandatory attributes that it should get include. But what does it mean discretionary means? Because R2 should know, he know what is local preference, he know what is atomic aggregate, but whether it should be there in mandatorily over the BGP update, no. Okay, that is what the meaning of discretionary. It can be there or it cannot be there, but because of this our neighborship is not going to affect. So but still it is a well-known attribute. The word discretionary states that it can be there or it cannot be there. That is up to R2, how it is being configured. Based on that it is going to react. Okay, so this is what about well-known, mandatory and discretionary. And then we have something called optional, transitive and non-transitive, right? So in transitive, okay, let's say here I have few attributes called aggregator. Aggregator is different, atomic aggregate is different. We'll get into it when we are in our upcoming videos, when we are talking about that aggregator. And then we have something called community. Okay, this is an interesting chapter, community. Sorry. Okay, because this we will be using for path manipulation using the community values, and a lot that we will be doing with communities. And under community we have different things like predefined things like we have no export, and we have something called no advertise, and we have something called internet, and also we have something called local AS. Okay, these are the few predefined attributes for community. Okay, they are not predefined attributes. I would say predefined properties for the attribute called community. Okay, don't worry about these things. Anyhow, we are going to learn about these all these properties and attributes in our upcoming sessions. And okay, now we'll get into it. What is optional, transitive? Okay, the word optional suggests, okay, uh, these transitive and non-transitive attributes will not be understandable by all the vendor routers who are capable of running BGP. Let's say Cisco routers understand what is community, what is aggregator, that's fine, but it is not going to be the same when I'm going to use, let's say I'm going to use some other vendor XYZ. Okay, I cannot give the same assurance what Cisco is giving when I'm going to run the BGP, and what are the attributes that it is going to support. I cannot give the same assurance that XYZ vendor will be giving the same assurance, because it is up to them, because it is not the well-known uh, attributes, and it is not the mandatory or well-known discretionary. The name itself suggesting it is optional. Okay, and let's say if there is a vendor ABC who supports this optional transitive. Okay, this transitive, what does it mean is like These are the attributes. Before explaining that, let me just have a simple topology. I have R1, okay, which is in AS100, and also I have R2 connected to R3. It is in different AS23, and it is AS100. And let's say here I have R4, AS400. Okay, let's say when I'm setting some of the attributes, like when I'm set now I'm expecting to send community values from R1 out to R2, whether this particular attributes value is going to exchange outside my autonomous system number. If it is S, because if it is S, then those are the attributes that I'm considering as optional transitive. Transit means what? Transit means usually what I would say, R1 and R4 at the edge, AS23 in the transit. That means whatever the traffic that I'm going to send from R1, it has to go via AS23 to reach R4, right? So AS23 is transit, right? So that means this packet is penetrating through AS23 to reach R4, because I don't have any other link connecting to R4. Because of that, now AS23 is in transit path. AS23 is used to send or receive packet either from R1 to R4 or from R1 to R4 to R1, vice versa, right? So that is called transit. Now, these are the attributes that are allowed to send out of our autonomous system number, and they are carried over different autonomous systems further. So that is what the optional transitive attribute is, right? And we have now, for example, if I say I'm going to send this community, okay, R1 will be sending to R2, and R2 now it is allowed to send it to R3, and R3 can again advertise that to R4. But yes, we have to enable a few things in the configuration. Once we do that, it is going to send those attributes to next to next neighbors, next to next AS as well. That is what the optional transitive is. But when I say it is non-transitive, it is just going to be opposite to optional transitive. And there are a few attributes in the non-transitive that I can say is med. Okay, it is med. Okay, and which is something relevant to metric, what we'll call, okay, multi-exit discriminator, what we will, that is abbreviation. And then we have something called originator, and we have something called cluster ID. What does it mean is like, okay, I'm going to use different color in order to explain this. Let me take black. Okay, let's say I'm going to send some med value. Okay, that means I'm going to send my metric value for reaching this prefix, something for, let's say, 100.0.0.0/24. Okay, and I'm using some XYZ as a metric in order to reach this prefix. That is what I have done in my configuration. So this particular update will be sent it to R2. Now R2 will be receiving that particular med value what I have advertised, but now R2 is not allowed to advertise that med attribute to any other AS, right? Okay, this stays in my next adjacent AS, and it is not going to allow to send this particular attribute information to the other AS. That means it is not going to transit, right? It is going to just stay there. Okay, that is what it is called non-transitive. Okay, transitive means our attribute information can be carried out from one AS to the other AS, and then other AS, then other AS. But non-transitive, it is not something like that. it is just going to stay within the next adjacent AES. From there, it is not going to advertise it to any other AES. So this is what about BGP attributes, and using these attributes only our BGP is going to select which is a best path, which is a non-best path, and which routes need to be installed in the routing table and which are not to get installed in the routing table. All these things are going to evaluated using these attributes, and we will be learning what is a FSM, which is finite state machine, who does the best path selection process when BGP is going to receive any prefixes from any of the neighbors. This we will be learning shortly in our upcoming videos. This video just we have covered what is BGP attributes and what are they and what is their classifications and how they are differentiated. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next video. Bye.